All right, class, so I wanted the opportunity to clarify what the expectations were for this activity because it is practicing a new skill, so it's kind of asking a lot of our brains. So on the one hand, the first skill that we're practicing is the skill of just analyzing primary source documents. This is something that we've done a lot with. And that corresponds to this first component, a conclusion we can draw about the effects of the global silver trade. The new skill that we're practicing today is this skill of source analysis. And source analysis corresponds to this second task. One conclusion we can draw about the source. So how are we supposed to draw conclusions about the source? So first, the source is typically this first line. So if we look at my example, right, it's what I just circled where it says primary source, letter from Christopher Columbus. A lot of times what it's talking about is the author and where it's published. Right, that line, this line, is super important. The next thing we're going to do to get to this analysis component of it, to get to this conclusion that we can draw, right, by drawing a conclusion, we are doing analysis. That's what's kind of cool about this. We are asking these questions. So considering the context and subtext of the document, that's what source analysis is. So context is like what's going on when the person is writing, and subtext is what's going on in between the lines. To get at these things, here are questions we can ask ourselves. Who wrote the document? Do they have a position they're trying to keep, move up to, protect? Are they writing to someone special who could help or hurt them? Are they trying to achieve a specific goal? How do these pieces of information impact how we should view the source? So an example of me doing this source analysis is here, right? This is a document that I took from the set of documents we worked with last week about the Columbian Exchange. So what I did was first I read the document. I also read about the author, right? It says, primary source, letter from Christopher Columbus to King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain, announcing the discoveries of his first voyage, 1493. And he talks about like, oh, so lovely, yay, so rich, yay, contain gold, yay. Right? They are richly endowed, hooray. So he's talking a lot about how spectacular the places that he's found are. So that would be, right, a conclusion that I could draw from the document would be the land Columbus found was rich in resources. Okay. Then for my source analysis, I say Columbus, right, the author. What is he doing? He's writing to the king and queen of Spain. He's making sure to justify his journey and their sponsorship of it, right? So do they have a position they are trying to keep or protect? Yes, right? He's trying to protect the fact that they gave him money. He's trying to justify it. He has, right, an agenda that he is trying to pursue. Are they writing to someone special? Yeah. He's writing the king and queen of Spain, people who gave him money to do a thing. Are they trying to achieve a specific goal? Yeah, to ensure that they're happy with their decision to fund his voyages and probably his future voyages too, right? So if we apply that to one of these, what we're looking for, right, the first thing we're going to do, right, is draw our conclusion. We're going to analyze this document. So remember, we're looking for effects of silver trade. So when I read this document, it's by Thomas de Mercado, who's a Spanish scholar. He's writing this nice book, which he publishes in Spain in 1571. So there are a few conclusions that I can draw. One, I know that he is highly educated. And he's wealthy, right? If he can afford to become a scholar and not have to work, he's wealthy. He is writing a book called The Manual of Deals and Contracts. So this guy probably really likes business. He also probably thinks he's got a lot going on in the business world. Let's see what he writes. High prices ruined Spain. Ooh, that's like a harsh word. They ruined Spain. All right. As the prices attracted Asian commodities and the silver currency flowed out to pay for them. Okay. So a conclusion that I can draw is that Spain is spending a lot of silver on Asian goods. The streets of Manila in the Spanish territory of the Philippines could be paved with granite cobblestones brought from China as ballast, and Chinese ships coming to get silver for China, right? So that's how much that China is offloading in the Philippines, and they're getting lots of silver. So there are a few conclusions I can draw, some analysis that I can do about what this document shows that silver is doing. Now, the next thing that I have to do, right, according to the documents, is one conclusion I can draw about the source. So I'm going to use those questions. So Thomas de Mercado, I already talked about how he's highly educated and wealthy. And he's writing this book, right? So if I'm mimicking here, I might say something like, de Mercado. Then what did I write next? In writing to the King and Queen of Spain. A book on business concerning Spain's trade with China, right? That's what he's done. I haven't got it any analysis yet. The question is, why is he doing this? What could he possibly hope to get from this? So I might say something like, some conclusions I can draw is attempting to convince the authorities right? So that's what he's doing. That's his agenda, right? So Columbus's agenda is ensuring that they're happy with their decision to fund his voyages. And based on the tone that this guy has used, I'm drawing the conclusion that he wants to convince the authorities to act. That's kind of what I think he's trying to do. So for this one, right, you would say, what does this show is happening because of the silver trade? And then, who is the author? Why are they writing this now? Right? Or it could be in this way. So that's a basic overview. I hope that helps, and you have this always to kind of go back and review when you need more help.